Every moment we strive toward our highest potential, an unseen force emerges from the recesses of our inner world, subtly impeding our progress. You may wonder why, at times, despite your best intentions and relentless hard work, the ladder to your success appears riddled with hidden traps. I speak to you now not as an expert perched high above in detached counsel, but as a fellow traveler who has lived the perplexing dance of ambition and self-imposed limitation. The phenomenon of self-sabotage is not a mere quirk of the human psyche, but a complex interplay between our inner fears and the unhealed parts of our soul. Often cloaked in habits of procrastination, self-doubt, or even deliberate inaction, this inner adversary wears many disguises. It reassures us with a false sense of security, whispering that a small step backward is preferable to the unknown perils that success might unveil. Consider for a moment an artist relentlessly sketching a masterpiece, yet hesitating at every brushstroke that could transform canvas into art. Or envision a writer whose passion for storytelling is steadily undermined by the nagging thought of inadequacy. In these moments, self-sabotage preys not on our potential, but on our vulnerability. It is as if we have constructed walls from our deepest fears, and while these walls may protect us from the sting of failure, they also confine us within the parameters of self-limitation. The paradox lies in the fact that we often harbor the yearning for achievement, even as we subconsciously engineer the very obstacles that keep us grounded. As you listen to these words, ask yourself, when have you knowingly or unknowingly deflected an opportunity for growth? Have you ever set boundaries that seem to expand only when your dreams come too close? These questions are not intended to chastise, but rather to invite a deeper awareness of the internal dialogues that steer your actions. I invite you to observe with a kind curiosity the subtle signals of resistance in your day-to-day endeavors. In doing so, you begin to unmask the myriad ways in which fear of the unknown, of failure, or even of success, can dictate your choices. Within each of us exists an inner critic whose voice grows louder at moments when vulnerability beckons. Yet, beneath that harsh tone, there is also an inner teacher, a quiet guide who calls you to transcend the limitations imposed by outdated patterns. The journey of untangling self-sabotage is not an exercise in self-judgment, but an invitation to dialogue with these contrasting inner voices. In this conversation lies the key to understanding the source of your internal resistance, a source that often originates not from a lack of courage, but from the instinct for self-preservation. Embracing this duality, you gradually learn that the obstacles you erect may, in truth, be the very scaffolding upon which your ultimate growth is built. The struggle to reconcile ambition with self-limitation is an eternal human drama. While some may perceive self-sabotage as inherently negative, it can also be seen as an indicator that you are standing on the precipice of genuine transformation. To block yourself from success is, paradoxically, to guard what already exists inside you. Recognizing this truth inspires not despair, but a gentle determination, a commitment to dialoguing with your inner self, unraveling the intricate puzzle of your fears, and learning to embrace the full spectrum of your unique being. Let this narrative be a call to arms, not to wage a war against yourself, but to engage in a tender exploration of the self, where every obstacle becomes a stepping stone toward authentic growth. When you begin to witness these internal patterns, you will notice that the barrier of self-sabotage is not monolithic. It is layered, nuanced, and intimately linked to your personal history. There is wisdom here waiting to be embraced. In the labyrinth of your inner landscape, every twist and every hidden nook holds lessons about resilience, vulnerability, and the true nature of evolving consciousness. As we venture deeper into this inquiry, we shall examine the roots of self-sabotage, trace its intricate links with fear and desire, and explore how its very presence can eventually illuminate a path toward self-mastery. Imagine for a moment that life is a grand theater, and within each of us is both the actor and the director of a complex play. In this production, every decision, every hesitation, and every bold leap is woven into the narrative of your existence. It is within the interplay of these choices that the enigma of self-sabotage unfolds. There is an ancient wisdom that teaches us the importance of balance in all things, the yin and the yang, the light and the shadow. Self-sabotage represents the shadow self, the part that, though hidden, is inseparable from the whole. To understand this darker facet is not to condemn it, but to recognize it as an indispensable companion on the journey to wholeness. Many of us have encountered moments when our conscious ambitions and our unconscious fears clash. This collision creates a tumultuous energy that can stifle progress and obscure the beauty of our true potential. Philosophers of old and seekers of truth have long debated the forces that govern our inner lives. They suggest that the very mechanism which protects us from unbearable disappointment may likewise imprison us within limiting paradigms. In the delicate balance between impulse and restraint, between hope and despair, lies the subtle art of self-protection, a mechanism that manifests as self-sabotage when our fears override our dreams. I speak to you now as one who has wrestled with this dichotomy. There was a time when the promise of success was shadowed by anxiety, where every opportunity was met with a simultaneous surge of caution. It is as if an inner hand reached out to check the speed of progress, urging you to slow down, to question, to re-examine your course. That inner voice, though often unwelcome, is a testament to the complexity of human emotion. It is not inherently malicious, rather, it is a signal, a reminder that the comfort of the known often outweighs the allure of the uncharted. In this intricate dance of desire and dread, the forces of self-sabotage serve to remind us that every step forward demands a measure of risk, a risk that our inner selves, conditioned by past wounds, sometimes vehemently resist. Consider the notion that within every act of self-sabotage lies a hidden yearning, a desire to remain tethered to the familiar, to cling to what we understand even if it stifles our growth. There is a quiet dignity in this resistance, an acknowledgement that change, even when it promises liberation, can unsettle the very foundation of our identity. Indeed, the fear of becoming something different, something unknown, can be as compelling as the fear of failure itself. Herein lies an eternal truth. To evolve is to confront the unknown, and in doing so, to risk the dissolution of the self you have so carefully constructed. It is a journey fraught with paradox and uncertainty. Yet within this very paradox, there exists the potential for profound transformation. The challenge, then, is not to eradicate self-sabotage by force, but to understand its origins, its purpose, and its hidden gifts. Each time you recognize that a moment of hesitation is rooted in a long-held belief or a past disappointment, you gain a measure of control. In acknowledging these internal battles, you open the door to a more authentic relationship with yourself, a relationship that allows for both vulnerability and the courage to imagine a future untainted by the limitations of fear. As you traverse this philosophical landscape, you gradually learn that the path to true success is not one of unyielding force, but of gentle persistence, mindful inquiry, and an unwavering commitment to self-growth. The tapestry of your inner life is woven with threads both brilliant and dark. Embrace the darkness as a necessary counterpoint to the light, for it is in that interplay that you discover the full spectrum of your humanity. In the end, the mystery of self-sabotage is not a curse, but a call, an invitation to delve deeper into the recesses of your soul and to reframe the narrative of your existence. Every barrier, once understood, becomes a portal to greater self-awareness, and every moment of hesitation transforms into a stepping stone toward a more resilient, authentic self. Let us now journey further into the heart of this paradox, exploring the intimate interplay between inner conviction and the forces that seek to hold us back. In the quiet moments of reflection, when the clamor of daily life subsides, you may begin to sense the subtle tension that underlies your aspirations. It is a tension born from the collision of ambition and apprehension, a constant reminder that every step toward greatness is accompanied by the whisper of doubt. I have come to recognize that this internal tug-of-war is not an aberration, but a fundamental aspect of being human. In our dual nature, we are often torn between the longing for success and the instinct to retreat into familiar patterns. This internal dialectic is the crucible in which our true selves are forged. Picture yourself standing at the threshold of a grand possibility, your heart aflutter with anticipation. At that very moment, an inner voice may murmur doubts. Are you sure you are ready? Or what if the unknown proves too overwhelming? Such questions are not necessarily the offspring of cynicism. Instead, they are the byproducts of a life lived with deeply embedded caution. For many, these feelings are intertwined with the remnants of past experiences, moments when vulnerability led to pain, or when risk transformed into regret. In this intricate interplay of memory and emotion, self-sabotage takes root, shielding you from further hurt, even as it prevents you from embracing a brighter future. I invite you to consider that the energy behind self-sabotage is, in many respects, a willful attempt to protect what is most cherished within you. It is as if your inner self, frightened of being overwhelmed by success, resorts to familiar defenses to preserve a sense of stability. The irony, of course, is that these defenses often become the very forces that confine you. Reflect upon the times when you have hesitated at the cusp of an opportunity, when caution took precedence over exploration, and fear quietly stifled the bold beats of your heart. In those moments, the promise of what might be is caught in the web of what has been, creating a poignant tension between your present self and the future you dare not fully envision. Yet this tension is not a dead end, but a doorway. When you acknowledge and explore these conflicting impulses, you unlock the capacity to transcend them. By engaging with your inner critic with compassion and curiosity, you create space for an inner dialogue that can harmonize ambition with the wisdom of measured risk. In every pause, every moment of hesitation, there is an opportunity to question the underlying assumptions that bind you. Is it truly the prospect of failure that haunts you, or does it lie in the fear of change, of leaving behind the narrative that has, for so long, defined your existence? The duality of ambition and apprehension is a testament to the profound complexity of our inner lives. Success is not an external reward bestowed upon the deserving. It is the natural unfolding of a life lived in alignment with one's deepest values and authenticity. When you learn to navigate this fine line between bold endeavor and cautious retreat, you are not simply conquering self-sabotage, you are embracing the full dialectic of human experience. As you stand on the brink of transformation, remember that every tension within you is a silent herald of the growth that awaits beyond the familiar, an invitation to challenge the limits of your comfort zone in pursuit of a richer, more expansive future. When you engage in this internal exploration, you begin to see that the voice of self-sabotage is not monolithic, but speaks in many tones, some harsh and accusatory, others soft and pleading. Even in its most insistent forms, this inner dialogue carries a trace of desperate love, a longing to keep you safe from the unpredictable tides of change. Let this insight guide you. The path to true success is not a repudiation of your inner fears, but an integration of them into a broader sense of being. In embracing the full spectrum of your emotions, you discover that the journey toward achievement is as much about understanding your limits as it is about transcending them. Contemplate the possibility that your apprehensions are not the enemy, but the heralds of a deeper truth, that every moment you hesitate holds an echo of wisdom from your past. And yet, every time you choose to question that wisdom, you pave the way for a more enlightened embrace of the future. This ongoing dialogue, this delicate balance between holding on and letting go, invites you to redefine what success truly means. It is not the absence of fear, but the willingness to move forward despite it. In this reimagined landscape, self-sabotage transforms from a barrier into a guidepost, pointing you toward the parts of yourself that are yearning for acknowledgement, for healing, and ultimately, for liberation. Through this understanding, you may come to see that each struggle, each moment of internal conflict, is an integral part of your unfolding story. The tension between ambition and apprehension weaves a narrative that is uniquely your own, one that, when examined with sincerity and courage, reveals the potential for growth in the very act of overcoming. Today, I ask you to honor that narrative, to listen deeply to every whisper of doubt and every surge of hope, and to realize that within the paradox of your own making lies the seed of extraordinary transformation. In the midst of life's ceaseless flow, there emerges a quiet moment when you feel that every cell in your body vibrates with possibility. It is in these ephemeral instants that the paradox of potential reveals itself. The more you reach for what seems to be your destined greatness, the more you may feel the invisible grip of self-sabotage. I stand before you now to affirm that this paradox is not a calling for resignation, but a challenge to delve deeper, to uncover beneath the layers of anxiety and caution an inner reservoir of strength that awaits your discovery. Reflect on the times when the door to opportunity has swung open, only to be met with a tremor of uncertainty. Perhaps it was the prospect of a new career, a creative venture, or a profound relationship, each promise shimmering with potential, yet shadowed by that familiar hesitance. In those moments, the very essence of self-sabotage is not to dampen your spirit, but to remind you that growth always demands a leap of faith. The delicate fabric of our inner being, interwoven with experiences and memories, often gravitates toward the secure and the known. Thus, when you stand at the crossroads of decision, a part of you instinctively reaches for the safety of habitual patterns, even if they are no longer in harmony with your dreams. I invite you now to see this resistance not as a formidable enemy, but as an intimate teacher. Each instance of self-sabotage carries with it a message, a clue about an unresolved wound or a long-forgotten aspiration. When you confront this inner barrier with tenderness, you allow its lessons to become stepping stones rather than stumbling blocks. It is a process of dismantling the rigid frameworks that once served to protect you, only to discover that they now obscure the path to your true potential. In doing so, you transform moments of resistance into opportunities for profound self-reflection. You begin to understand that the discomfort you feel is not a sign of impending failure, but rather the stirring of dormant strengths that, when fully awakened, can energize every aspect of your life. There is an ancient adage that reminds us, the cave that frightens us holds the treasure we seek. Let this resonate within you as a powerful metaphor for your current journey. The darkness within is not an absence of light, but a canvas upon which your brightest aspirations can be painted. When you approach your fears with a sense of reverence rather than denial, you peel away the layers that obscure your vision. It is in that vulnerable encounter, with both the terror and the promise of the unknown, that you begin to reclaim the power that self-sabotage once held over you. In this reclamation, success is no longer defined by external accolades or milestones, but by the quiet courage of embracing your entire self, imperfections and all. Throughout history, great thinkers and artists have illuminated the truth that the path to brilliance winds through valleys of uncertainty. They recognize that the journey toward realizing one's full potential is adorned with instances of hesitation, a cosmic reminder that every achievement is preceded by the testing of one's resolve. In your own life, every moment you have encountered a whisper of doubt or the urge to retreat represents a profound opportunity. It is an invitation to question the narratives that have long directed your course, to explore the reservoirs of hidden strength, and to emerge renewed on the other side. The act of overcoming self-sabotage is, in essence, a celebration of resilience, an acknowledgement that life's richest treasures are often found in the crucible of challenge. The interplay between potential and paralysis is a dance as old as time itself. Yet, within this dance, there is an emerging truth, that success is not a destination beyond the reach of fear, but the very journey of learning to live authentically in its presence. As you awaken to this understanding, you empower yourself not only to face your fears, but to reframe them as the indispensable precursors to meaningful change. With every step taken in conscious awareness, you dissolve the shackles of self-limitation, setting the stage for a reinvention of what it means to succeed. Embrace that reinvention with a heart open to possibility, knowing that within the very paradox of potential lies the promise of your most brilliant self. In this unfolding moment, acknowledge the quiet revolution that is taking place within you. Each encounter with self-sabotage, every hesitation that once pinned you to old habits, is gradually transforming into a portal for creativity, introspection, and ultimately, freedom. May you find solace in knowing that the treasures you seek lie not in the eradication of fear, but in its integration, a testament to the wondrous complexity of your human experience. Sometimes life seems like an endless conversation between two voices. One, a relentless inner critic that seizes upon every vulnerability, and the other, a softly persistent inner champion urging you to reach higher. I've come to realize that this duality of inner messages is a core element of our shared human journey, a dichotomy that reflects our deep-seated longing for connection, achievement, and self-acceptance. In those quiet moments when you feel both torn and inspired, listen closely to these voices. Within their interplay lie the secrets of how you both build barriers and create bridges to unforeseen possibilities. The voice of the inner critic often manifests with a compelling authority, urging you to abide by familiar rules and to shun the risk that accompanies change. In its tone, you might hear the echoes of past disappointments and unhealed wounds, voices that remind you of failures, however distant, with all the insistence of a cautionary tale. Yet, paradoxically, the same inner world that nurtures doubt is also capable of birthing dreams beyond measure. Your inner champion speaks in a gentle yet insistent cadence, prodding you to step past the boundaries of self-imposed limitations and into a space where the unfamiliar yields immense possibility. This constant interplay, though it may seem chaotic at times, is in fact a dialogue of growth, a conversation between aspects of you that are ready to be integrated into a more harmonious whole. I invite you to engage openly with both sides. When your inner critic surfaces, rather than dismissing it outright, consider asking, what is it that you wish to protect me from? In doing so, you honor the wellspring of caution that lies beneath, while also setting the stage for the compassionate wisdom of your inner champion to emerge. Recall moments when you felt the pull to remain within the safety of the known, the missed opportunities, the delayed decisions, and the quiet resignations that collectively formed patterns of self-sabotage. Each of these episodes carries a lesson, a reminder that while fear can be a formidable obstacle, it is not an absolute decree over your destiny. You see, the process of integrating these dual voices is much like tending a delicate garden. The inner critic, with all its sharp edges, can be softened by the nurturing influence of self-compassion. Every time you recognize a moment of self-doubt and counter it with a word of encouragement, you reaffirm your capability to transform weakness into wisdom. It is through this very tension that you unlock a reservoir of untapped energy, a vibrant synergy that transforms internal conflict into creative drive. The more you honor both parts of yourself, those that whisper caution and those that shout hope, the more you realize that neither voice is inherently wrong. Instead, they are complementary narratives that, when woven together, create the rich tapestry of your unique existence. In embracing this duality, you learn that self-sabotage is not a fixed state, but a fluid and evolving experience. It is neither an indictment of your worth, nor an immutable part of who you are. It is simply one facet of a complex inner dance. When you reflect upon the paths you have traversed, you may notice that moments of hesitation were often followed by bursts of clarity and insight, as if the friction between doubt and ambition kindled a transformative flame. These sparks of revelation are proof that, even amidst internal turmoil, there exists the capacity for profound self-renewal. In every exchange between your inner critic and inner champion, there lies an invitation to reframe your narrative, to see setbacks as catalysts for deeper introspection, and to discover that the barriers you once encountered are in fact the raw materials for your greatest achievements. As you move forward on this journey, remember that the conversation within is not something to be silenced, but rather a symphony that, when listened to with an empathetic ear, reveals the multifaceted nature of your being. Embrace your inner critic with the same openness you extend to your inner champion. In the resulting harmony, you will find that the very forces that once blocked your success now serve as guides, propelling you toward a future built on resilience, authenticity, and a boundless sense of possibility. The quest to dismantle self-sabotage is an epic journey, one that calls upon the courage to face not only external challenges, but the intricate labyrinth of your internal universe. In the practical realm of everyday life, strategies for overcoming self-sabotage are not found in grand pronouncements or miraculous shortcuts. Instead, they reside in the everyday commitment to self-awareness, compassion, and the willingness to embrace discomfort as a companion on the road to growth. Today, I encourage you to consider the simple yet profound act of pausing whenever you sense that old patterns beginning to reassert themselves. In that pause lies an opportunity, a moment to reflect on the triggers and lived experiences that fuel your self-doubt. Begin by observing your thoughts without judgment. As you notice the familiar chorus of doubt, allow yourself the space to ask, what am I protecting myself from? This mindful inquiry not only illuminates the origin of your resistance, but also opens a window into how your inner world is striving to maintain balance. With each mindful breath, imagine releasing a little of the tension that holds you back, replacing it with the gentle promise that you are capable of embracing both triumph and vulnerability. It is in these moments of sincere reflection that the seeds of transformation are sown. Recognize that self-sabotage, in its many forms, is not a punishment but a signal calling your attention to deeper wounds that, when nurtured with care, can lead to genuine healing and self-discovery. Practical measures to counteract self-sabotage often begin with small, deliberate choices. For instance, when faced with a decision, rather than being overwhelmed by the potential for failure, choose instead to honor your innate curiosity. Remind yourself that every experience, whether it leads to success or teaches you a valuable lesson, is a vital part of your ongoing evolution. Adopt routines that foster accountability and self-reflection, journaling your thoughts, seeking feedback from those you trust, and even allowing moments of creative expression to unravel the tangled threads of fear and doubt. Each of these practices not only reinforces a mindset of growth, but also gradually diminishes the influence of self-limiting beliefs. I am reminded of an ancient parable in which a humble gardener, faced with relentless storms, continued to nurture a tiny seed that, against all odds, blossomed into a magnificent tree. Much like that seed, your aspirations have the potential to grow into something extraordinary if only you provide the space, nourishment, and patience required for true transformation. The storms, those moments of uncertainty and self-sabotage, are not the end of your journey. They are necessary seasons, each carrying lessons that fortify your spirit and refine your purpose. In embracing these experiences, you cultivate resilience, learning to see even the harshest winds as part of the dance of life. In the quiet moments of everyday living, look around and notice the subtle justifications that have once held you back, those internal narratives that declare, "It's better not to try than to risk failing." Replace these thoughts with affirmations of possibility. Remind yourself that every genuine act of reaching beyond your comfort zone is a brave declaration of your desire for growth. Let each day become a practice in vulnerability, a conscious choice to trust that success lies not in the absence of fear, but in the willingness to persist despite it. As you forge ahead, you may discover that the very practices you adopt accumulate into a force that steadily transforms your life, rendering you more attuned to the whispers of wisdom that arise from within. The process of dismantling self-sabotage need not be solitary. In reaching out to others, sharing your struggles, listening to their stories, and finding solidarity in shared human experience, you ignite a collective energy that can dissolve the isolation that often accompanies vulnerability. In every conversation, in every empathetic exchange, you find echoes of your own journey, reinforcing the truth that the path to overcoming self-imposed barriers is illuminated by communal strength. Know that you are not alone in this pursuit. Each step you take is part of a larger tapestry of human resilience, a testament to the indomitable spirit that resides within us all. As you integrate these practical rituals into your life, remain patient. Transformation is seldom instantaneous. It unfolds gradually, woven into the fabric of your daily routines and quiet reflections. Look back on the moments when you hesitated and see not defeat but growth, a mosaic of experiences that have prepared you for the abundant possibilities that lie ahead. In time, you will come to understand that success is less a distant destination and more a journey of soulful engagement with every facet of your being. With each mindful step, you reclaim the power to transform those carefully constructed barricades into bridges, each leading you closer to the magnificent life you are destined to create. There comes a time when the relentless pursuit of an ideal standard begins to feel like a weary marathon, draining the joy from achievements that once seemed vibrant. At these moments, the voice within you speaks of authenticity, a compelling invitation to pause, to reflect, and to redefine success on your own terms. The journey of self-reflection is at once both challenging and deeply liberating. I have learned that the practice of turning inward, of gently questioning the narratives that have long dictated your self-worth, can gradually peel away the layers of expectation that often give rise to self-sabotaging behaviors. In doing so, you rediscover the quiet truth that your worth is not measured by external milestones, but by the genuine expression of who you are. Consider the moments when you stood before a mirror, not merely to inspect your physical form, but to engage with the multifaceted layers of your inner self. In those honest reflections, you might have seen traces of old wounds, echoes of past disappointments, and yet also the shimmering possibility of renewal. It is in that intimate dialogue between reflection and aspiration that you begin to discern the subtle patterns of self-sabotage intermingled with the longing for authenticity. The challenge lies not in eradicating the imperfection, but in accepting it as part of the intricate mosaic that is you. As you draw closer to this inner authenticity, allow yourself the grace to question every assumption that has, over time, built invisible barricades around your dreams. Ask gently, are my actions truly aligned with my deepest desires, or am I clinging to what I know out of fear of the unknown? In this mindful inquiry, you create a space where old habits may be re-examined and transformed, where the rigid maps of the past are redrawn to reflect the ever-evolving landscape of your innermost being. In each moment of sincerity toward yourself, you reclaim a fragment of the autonomy that self-sabotage once obscured. The path to authenticity is not linear, but rather, it is an ever-winding road paved with moments of clarity and setback. Along this journey, every stumble becomes a lesson in resilience, every hesitance a signal that deeper healing is required. When you embrace these trials with a tender curiosity, you allow the boundaries of who you thought you were to expand, welcoming an enriched understanding of your potential. In the gentle rhythm of introspection, you begin to see that success, in its purest form, is not about attaining perfection, but about embracing the full spectrum of your humanity, its brightness, its shadows, and the grace that emerges in the space between. May you find solace in the power of self-reflection, knowing that even the smallest insights can ignite transformative change. Allow your reflections to serve as a bridge between the person you are and the person you long to become. Each moment of genuine inquiry, a step toward the liberation of your truest self. In this ongoing dialogue with your inner world, every revelation, no matter how quietly it arrives, contributes to a deeper, more resilient sense of belonging, a newfound capacity to love yourself unconditionally. Remember that ultimately, the journey toward authenticity is an act of profound courage. It is a declaration that you are more than the sum of your fears, that every barrier once erected by self-doubt can be dismantled by the steady work of introspection and self-compassion. With each deliberate moment of being truly present with yourself, you pave the way for creative freedom, a liberation that transcends the cycles of self-sabotage and invites you into the full expression of your potential. In the gentle unfolding of your authentic self, the voice of the inner critic may still murmur its warnings, yet your inner champion will rise louder with every heartbeat. Trust that this emergent clarity will guide you through moments of uncertainty, transforming hesitation into action and vulnerability into wisdom. The promise of genuine success lies not in a life free from fear, but in the courage to live as the truest version of yourself, and in doing so, to inspire others along the way. Let us now turn our gaze to another facet of this profound journey, the capacity to see each limitation not as a brick in a barrier, but as a stepping stone toward greater self-realization. Over the course of our lives, we accumulate patterns of thought and behavior that, while initially serving as regiments of survival, eventually crystallize into obstacles to our most cherished goals. The pursuit of success, in its truest sense, is not simply about acquiring wealth, accolades, or recognition. It is about rediscovering the expansive breadth of your human potential, transcending the confines of habitual dread, and embracing the endless possibilities that arise when you commit to persistent growth. When you notice the familiar tug of self-sabotage, remind yourself that within each challenge lies the seed for a breakthrough. It is in questioning the established narratives, those old stories that whisper of impossibility, that you begin to unlock a new paradigm of action. Picture yourself as an explorer venturing into uncharted territory. Every hesitation, every moment that once held you back, now becomes the fertile ground for novel insights and transformative breakthroughs. This is not a path paved with immediate triumphs, but one where every setback can be transmuted into a lesson, every failure into wisdom. I urge you now to cultivate a mindset that is not defined by the fear of failure, but by a relentless curiosity about what lies beyond the horizon of your comfort zone. Embrace your imperfections as integral chapters of your unique story. Each experience, whether marked by triumph or by faltering steps, is a thread in the grand tapestry of your becoming. In doing so, you learn that the process of overcoming self-sabotage is an art, a delicate, ongoing act of reimagining the boundaries of your own identity. The courage required to break free from self-imposed limitations is not the absence of fear, but the conscious decision that the promise of growth far outweighs the temporary comfort of stagnation. As you move forward, allow every moment of discomfort to be a reminder of the dynamism that fuels creation itself. The creative spark within you is intimately linked to the willingness to confront discomfort and transform it into vision. Through the lens of growth, what once appeared as an insurmountable barrier now emerges as a portal to fresh beginnings and unforeseen possibilities. This is the transformative power of perspective, the recognition that every struggle, every internal conflict, is an invitation toward deeper self-understanding and eventual liberation. In the quiet spaces of your heart, may you find the strength to challenge every obsolete pattern and to rewrite the narrative of self-sabotage. With each courageous step, you affirm the possibility that success is not a distant destination, but an ongoing, evolving adventure. It is a journey that invites you to surrender the fear of the unknown and to step boldly into the realm where your truest potential awaits. Let each day be imbued with the quiet conviction that you are capable of growth, resilience, and the ever-unfolding magic of becoming. At this moment, as you absorb these reflections, I entreat you to trust the process. Know that the journey toward dismantling self-limitation is a sacred unfolding, a gradual, empowered emergence into the life you have always envisioned. Every time you choose awareness over complacency, every moment you embrace growth rather than retreat into the familiar, you are co-creating a life defined not by barriers, but by boundless possibility. As our exploration continues, let us confront the crucible of transformation, courage. In the grand tapestry of your existence, courage is the thread that weaves together dreams and reality, that transforms moments of potential paralysis into pathways for extraordinary change. Courage is not the absence of fear. It is rather the conscious decision to move forward in spite of it. When confronted by the insidious voice of self-sabotage, remember that each moment of resistance is also a call to rise. In the quiet defiance of doubt, you ignite the resilient spark of your inner strength. The transformative journey of overcoming self-sabotage demands that you meet each fear with gentle audacity. Every time you choose to act in the face of uncertainty, you declare that your vision of success is greater than any transient moment of apprehension. This declaration, humble yet profound, reshapes your inner world, replacing outdated narratives with the empowering story of your true potential. Embrace the challenges that come your way as formative, each one adding depth and texture to the person you are continuously becoming. In that courageous act, know that you are not simply resisting the pull of self-imposed limits. You are boldly crafting a future that reflects the full expanse of your soul. The journey ahead is paved with moments of revelation and small triumphs, moments when the act of simply moving forward, despite the internal countdown of fears, becomes an act of transformation. In every instance of vulnerability lies a seed of possibility, awaiting the nurturing light of your benevolent resolve. Allow yourself to be inspired by those who, despite great odds, stepped into the light of their own potential. Their stories remind us that the path of courage is not traveled in leaps, but in measured, persistent steps, each one a testament to the transformative power of embracing both the fear and the promise of what lies beyond. There is something infinitely beautiful about a heart that dares to dream, and a spirit that chooses to act despite the odds. In that beauty lies the profound realization that your journey, with all its messy imperfections and glorious breakthroughs, is the most authentic expression of your thriving human spirit. Every time you brave the unknown with a determined heart, you contribute to the evolution of your inner narrative, one in which success and self-fulfillment are the natural outcomes of living true to your calling. Let your actions be guided by the unwavering belief that every act of courage, no matter how small, paves the way for a brilliant future. And so, as you continue along this unfolding path, let the transformative power of courage illuminate even the darkest corners of your mind, inviting you to dream bigger, to love deeper, and to become the magnificent architect of your own destiny. It is said that the narratives we construct in our minds shape the reality we experience. Often these narratives are written by voices steeped in caution, echoing the limitations of past disappointments rather than the infinite possibilities of tomorrow. Today, I invite you to challenge these entrenched stories, the self-imposed scripts that declare, "You are not enough," or "You must stay safe rather than soar." Look deep into the origins of these narratives. Recognize that they are but relics from a time when survival demanded strict adherence to what was known and comfortable. The true art of living, however, involves rewriting these stories in the light of newfound awareness and possibility. With every reflective moment and every courageous decision, you have the power to revise the script of your life, replacing fear with a vision of abundance and growth. Let your new narrative be one where each chapter overflows with the promise of transformation, where obstacles are transformed into stepping stones, and where the once silenced voice of your inner champion roars with the conviction of purpose. In challenging these outdated narratives, you liberate not only your present reality, but also the possibilities that lie in your future. Embrace this rewriting as an act of self-liberation, an irreversible step toward a life defined by limitless potential rather than bounded by past limitations. Witness the unfolding of your story as a living testament to the indomitable spirit that resides within you. Every challenge met with resilience, every setback transformed into insight, contributes to a vibrant mosaic of growth that is uniquely your own. By questioning the narratives that bind you, you light the way for a life filled with daring creativity, heartfelt connection, and the unyielding belief that you are, at your core, worthy of every success your heart dares to imagine. There arrives a moment in every life when the desire for profound change burns so brightly that it cannot be ignored. At this juncture, when self-sabotage appears as both a former guardian and a lingering obstacle, you are called to reclaim the fire that once sparked your dreams. The journey inward is one of restoration, a journey back to the very essence of who you are when unburdened by the weight of limiting beliefs. With every thoughtful pause, every brave step beyond the confines of old patterns, you begin to rediscover the vibrant energy that has always resided within you, waiting patiently for the moment to be unleashed. The process of reclaiming this inner fire requires that you honor the entirety of your journey, the struggles that have tempered your spirit, and the quiet moments that have whispered of your vast potential. Embrace the fullness of the human experience, recognizing that every stumble along the way has prepared you for this very moment of luminous clarity. In the alchemy of your transformation, the remnants of past fear merge with the emergent strength of your true self, forging a path that leads unmistakably toward the realization of your highest aspirations. Allow this ignited passion to drive you forward, dispelling the lingering shadows of doubt and inspiring you to pursue your dreams with relentless energy and unwavering resolve. May you come to understand that the fire within you is not a fleeting spark, but a blazing beacon that, once recognized, can illuminate even the darkest corridors of uncertainty. As you stoke this flame with decisive acts of bravery and tender self-compassion, you reclaim not only your capacity to succeed, but also the very essence of what it means to be vibrant, alive, and whole. In the radiant glow of this inner light, every step forward becomes a declaration of freedom, a bold, inspired movement toward a life where self-sabotage is no longer a barrier, but a transformative force that has refined your path to authentic, unbounded success. There is no final destination in the journey of overcoming self-sabotage, only a continual unfolding of moments that invite you to live more fully, more consciously, and more courageously. I share these reflections with you not as definitive answers, but as seeds of possibility waiting to germinate in the fertile soil of your inner life. Every day offers a fresh chance to rewrite your story, to challenge what holds you back, and to celebrate the beauty of progress in even its smallest manifestations. Let this living invitation to authentic success be your constant reminder that within the delicate interplay of fear and hope lies the transformative power to build a future defined by growth, creativity, and deep fulfillment. As you press forward, may you hold these words as a gentle reminder of the extraordinary potential that resides within you. Know that each mindful action and every moment of self-reflection contributes to the creation of a life rich with meaning and possibility. The mystery of self-sabotage, once seen as a formidable nemesis, gradually reveals itself as a gateway to self-discovery, urging you to break free from the confines of old stories and to embrace a future built on courage, resilience, and authenticity. Trust in your ability to transform from within and allow your inner light to guide you on the road to success, a success that is not measured merely by external achievements, but by the profound, unwavering connection you forge with your most authentic self. May the journey that starts in the recognition of self-sabotage lead you to a place where every fear is met with understanding, every setback transforms into insight, and every moment of hesitation becomes the spark of bold new beginnings. Let your life become the most daring, compassionate, and fiercely authentic narrative ever told, a living testament to the brilliance of embracing who you truly are and the limitless possibilities that arise when you stop blocking your own success.